What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Wednesday, May 1st, 2024, and I have some breaking news to share with you guys. So, last night was absolutely insane. We had riots breaking out in UCLA between pro Hamas supporters and pro Israel supporters on the campus of UCLA. And we also had pro Hamas supporters get arrested by the hundreds in New York City at Columbia University and the City College of New York in New York City. The New York City Police Department raided the Hamilton Hall building in Columbia University, where hundreds of pro Hamas students and rioters barricaded themselves in, and they were all arrested. Great job by the New York City Police Department. Makes me proud to be from New York when I see the NYPD taking care of business like that. Very professional. Job well done by the NYPD. However, in California, shortly after the situation in New York City quieted down, at UCLA, things started to pick up. And for some reason, the school decided to delay a police response. And there were serious clashes, very violent clashes between the Hamas supporters and the Israel supporters. So this is just the beginning, guys. Okay, all these events that we're seeing taking place are only going to get worse and worse as we get deeper into the end times. Okay, so expect more riots, not just at universities, but in our cities, also terrorist attacks. We had these B-2 stealth bombers fly over the Gaza Strip yesterday. Here's a picture of one of them flying over the Gaza Strip. This is absolutely insane. And we know that Israel is preparing to send a delegation to Egypt for last chance Gaza ceasefire talks, according to the Wall Street Journal. And what you're looking at here is some video footage coming out of Western Russia in the Pskov region. This is very close to Estonia. What you're looking at here are convoys of military vehicles leaving Pskov. And I don't know where they're going, if they're going towards Estonia or if they're going towards Ukraine. My guess is they're probably going towards Estonia, okay, because Pskov is very far from Ukraine. So I doubt that Russia would use equipment in Pskov for the Ukraine front lines. So what you're looking at here is basically a buildup of Russian forces on the border of the Baltics. We've seen a massive NATO buildup in the Baltics over the last few days. I want to remind you guys that Poland officially sent out an application to the U.S. so they can host U.S. nuclear weapons and also be a part of NATO's nuclear strike mission. Okay, so this is very, very serious. Russia is now jamming Polish ships in the Baltic Sea with a GPS jammer that's affecting Polish civilian ships going into the Bay of Gdańsk, which is one of two major ports in Poland. Okay, so Russia is actively jamming the GPS and navigational systems of surface vessels now. Okay, so they are interfering with Poland's economy because Poland is dependent on the Bay of Gdańsk to bring in all kinds of goods from around the world. Okay, and Russia is making it difficult for that to happen by jamming navigational systems. The Kerch ferry service in Crimea, which is a ferry service for the Kerch Strait, where the Crimean Bridge is located, has suspended services indefinitely. Okay, so that's a red flag that Russia is very concerned about a massive Ukrainian attack on the Crimean Bridge, which I think could happen any day now, any week now. And NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said yesterday, while in the capital of Ukraine on a visit, that NATO will welcome Ukraine as a member and that Ukraine is on the path to NATO membership right now. And the head of the State Border Guard Service of Ukraine reported yesterday that they are currently seeing indications suggesting that Russian ground forces may attempt a large-scale offensive operation against the Kharkiv, Luhansk, and Donetsk fronts on or around May the 9th, with forces seen amassing at several key locations near the front line. So this is very, very concerning. And we're hearing that F-16s delivered to Ukraine will operate out of underground air bases currently under construction in Ukraine. So that is very interesting, and that would solve the problem of Ukrainian airfields getting hit by Russian missiles. And another oil refinery was hit by a Ukrainian drone yesterday. It happened in the southwestern city of Ryazan in Russia. And there were massive protests in the Republic of Georgia yesterday that led to brutal crackdowns by the pro-Russian government there. And the people were protesting against a new foreign agent law, which is seen as pro-Russian and anti-freedom by the Georgian people. And so they were protesting against this law, and the Georgian government brought out their riot police and their enforcers to crack down on these protests. And there were some violent clashes between the Georgian security services and the protesters. So this could be the beginning of a new color revolution in Eastern Europe. Okay, the Georgian people are going to try to overthrow their pro-Russian government, it looks like. And there were two enormous explosions yesterday in the center of Odessa. So Russia is continuing to pound Odessa and violate all different kinds of laws on war, international laws on war, committing war crimes. And this update was sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply is doing a discount on their 1 month emergency food supply. And to get the deal, you got to go to preparewithnyprepper.com, and the link is in the description below this video. This is a 1 month freeze-dried food supply. It has a 25-year shelf life. Normal price is $237. They've dropped it down to $177. So that's a savings of $60. And it's all packed within 2 rugged, water-resistant buckets. Free shipping is included. $177 for 1 month of food. Where are you going to find a deal like that? They also have a general store, and they're always running discounts in their general store on various prepping and survival items. They have everything from MREs, potassium iodide, to survival seeds. And to get to their general store, you got to click on the My Patriot Supply logo at the top of the page when you get to preparewithnyprepper.com. And you'll see when you get there, they have everything you can imagine. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get $60 off the My Patriot Supply 1 month emergency food supply. That's $180 for 1 month of food, free shipping included. The link is in the description below this video. And also check out their general store. They have everything you can imagine prepping and survival related, and they're always running various discounts there. The other day, they used cluster munitions against Odessa. And yesterday, Finnair, which is Finland's national airline, said that it would suspend flights to the Estonian city of Tartu for a month. Okay, so that's another sign that something could be going down in the Baltics. Finland's national airline suspending flights to the Estonian city of Tartu, and diesel prices for Russian consumers have skyrocketed, rising almost 10% in the past week alone, according to the Russian government's figures. Petrol costs have also hit a 6-month high, up more than 20% from the start of the year as supply tightens and more facilities are forced to suspend production as a result of the Ukrainian strikes. And what you're looking at here is a map showing all of the oil refineries and fuel depots that were hit by Ukraine in the last few weeks. And U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken arrived at the Ben Gurion International Airport in Tel Aviv, Israel, yesterday in order to meet with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and other senior Israeli officials. So Anthony Blinken is basically going to try to convince Netanyahu not to go into Rafah. Netanyahu has already said he's going to go into Rafah regardless of whether or not there's a ceasefire or a hostage deal. He's going into Rafah. He's going to finish the operation in Gaza. And I think the Muslim world is going to go crazy. We're already seeing that right now with these riots going on in U.S. universities. The town of Robotine in Zaporizhia region of southern Ukraine, which was liberated by the 47th Mechanized Brigade of the Ukrainian Ground Forces during the 2023 counteroffensive, was recaptured by Russian forces yesterday with the Russian flag raised above the town. And Ukraine just received its second Skynex air defense system from Germany as part of the latest package of military aid. It's a big, powerful, and highly accurate gun that is very effective at shooting down drones. And Russia will be showing off damaged American tanks and military equipment at the Victory Day parade this year in Russia. And Trump said in an interview with Time magazine that he would only continue providing aid to Ukraine if Europe starts equalizing. So, very interesting. And CBS News reports that the Biden administration is considering bringing certain Palestinian refugees to the U.S. And there was a fire in Moscow yesterday in the Kratovo area. And New York police made hundreds of arrests at Columbia University overnight last night. And the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres criticized American law enforcement for cracking down on these pro-Hamas rioters that have been occupying American universities. So Antonio Gutierrez, just a total moron and scumbag, doesn't know what he's talking about here. And in London, a man with a katana sword attacked passers-by and 2 police officers. 4 people were stabbed and a 13-year-old boy died. The attacker has been arrested. The police do not consider this attack a terrorist act. Wow, guys. I mean, just look at all this news. I mean, things are really spiraling out of control around the world. Okay, all these different events going on at the same time. And the U.S. Army unveiled the new M2A4E1 Bradley in Saco, Maine. This new variant of the Bradley fighting vehicle is the most modern and survivable version as a result of integrating an Iron Fist active protection system, improved high-definition forward-looking infrared gunner's sight, and an environmental control unit to prevent heat stress for dismounts. Okay, so upgraded FLIR, upgraded optics for the gunners, an active protection system which would help it shoot down any kind of drones or incoming projectiles such as anti-tank missiles or anti-armor missiles. And a new U.S. presidential election poll came out Yesterday, it was done by the Hill and Emerson, and it shows Trump beating Biden 2 to 4% in all of the swing states. In Arizona, Trump beats Biden 48 to 44%. In Georgia, Trump beats Biden 47 to 44%. In Michigan, Trump beats Biden 45 to 44%. In Nevada, Trump beats Biden 45 to 44%. In North Carolina, Trump beats Biden 47 to 42%. In Pennsylvania, Trump beats Biden 47 to 45%. And in Wisconsin, Trump beats Biden 47 to 45%. This was a Hill and Emerson poll. Okay. So not looking too good for Biden. And a new study in the Journal of Archaeological Science suggests that the curse of the pharaohs may not have been a curse at all, but radiation damage from high levels of radioactivity, raising questions about whether ancient aliens stored radioactive materials in Egypt. So let me just show you guys some flight paths here. And we had some interesting activity overnight last night. We had two U.S. sub-Hunter planes, P-8 Poseidons, patrolling the coasts of Florida. Very interesting. And they were both flying very low off the coast of Orlando. Here we have a U.S. aerial refueler that was loitering off the coast of New Jersey and looping here for a while. Here we have a U.S. presidential doomsday plane that got aerially refueled over Albuquerque, New Mexico area. Very, very interesting. And we also had more aerial refuelers flying over the Rocky Mountains. Last night we had 7 of them do like a giant loop around the Rockies, and we also had like 3 of them go down to northern Arizona and loop around the Grand Canyon. Well, they did the same thing last night. Here we have 5 aerial refuelers that took off from Spokane, from Fairchild, and they went down to the Grand Canyon, looped around the Grand Canyon, and came back. So I don't know if this is calibration. I don't know if this is training. I don't know if this is real world. We have no idea, but this is definitely very, very unusual. And over the last few days, we've had probably 15 aerial refuelers or more go over the Atlantic to Europe and the Mediterranean. Okay. So that's another sign that things are escalating in the Middle East and in Europe. I'm very concerned about Russia attacking the Baltics and Poland with Belarus. I'm also very concerned about a massive Russian offensive in Ukraine in the coming weeks. But I do believe that Ukraine is going to launch a strategic strike on Crimea to slow down the Russian offensive. And what you're looking at here is this fire in the Moscow region of Russia. It almost looks like a UFO or some kind of alien spaceship crashed here in the forest. And what you're looking at here is some video footage of a US M1 Abrams that was captured by the Russians, and it's being driven down the highways here in Russia on flatbed trucks. Okay, so Russia is going to parade these around on their Victory Day. Okay, check it out. So it's good that the U.S. actually took the proper steps to remove any of the classified components of these tanks before giving them to Ukraine. But that's some of the latest breaking news that I have. I will be back later on tonight with more breaking news. And I want to just mention to you guys that Twitter suspended my account. So I will no longer be posting on Twitter anymore. I do have a new Twitter account. It's at NYPrepper2. But I will not be posting to Twitter anymore because they are a scumbag social media company, deleting me for absolutely zero reason. And I will be posting to Telegram more. So I will let you guys know what I'm going to be doing with my Telegram. But until later on, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.